Ahoy Captains, it's Az again with another video from World of Warships Legends. And today we're doing a Let's Play in the Baltimore. This is the American Tier 7 Tech Tree Cruiser. And we're in a game of domination on the map North. I really do like the layout of this map. Now in this match we have the westernmost spawn right above Alpha Cap, and so that's where we're going to head. We had a quick look at our teammates just to see what we had helping us. And you also notice that there's only 8 ships per side in this match, so there'll be slightly more room to work with. Now this match is going to have a lot of variety in it. Obviously from the video title you'll gather that we had ourselves a pretty good match overall. But gameplay wise you'll see some aggressive gameplay, some very tactical gameplay, and some all out YOLOing. You'll definitely want to stay tuned to the end because that's a fun ending. Now when I do get this spawn, especially when I'm in a radar cruiser, I like to go right up against this island here as close to the cap as I can. And that's because I know the battleships will take a while to get into position to fire on me, and I can use the island as cover in the meantime from them. But at the same time I know that the destroyers will be quick enough to get into my firing range. So once I am spotted, flick on my radar or even my sonar if they're really close, and hopefully sink them right away. Now you'll notice that I waited about 5 or so seconds to turn on my radar to make up for the gap between my detection range and my radar range. My detection being 10.9 up in the top left corner now beside the minimap, and my radar range of 9 kilometers. And once we did hit our radar, I popped the Shimakaze, and we were able to scare him out of the cap nicely. We did turn on our sonar to help our teammates with the torps. Our battleship, if you look at the minimap, was not in a very good position. It looked like those torps were going right for him, so we wanted to give him as much time as possible to dodge them. Now we also have a Summers in the cap. I don't know what he's thinking, other than maybe he's trying to eliminate our Cabrosk, and he comes right out in the open there, and so we're able to get some fire on him. And boy, combined with that Cabrosk, we were just having our way with that Summers. That first salvo of ours slapped him really nicely. And by the time he popped his smoke, it was too late. We already got our second salvo off, and that netted us our first sinking of the match. Now their backup has arrived in the form of an Alaska, and I think it's Bismarck is the battleship there. We have to retreat a little bit because the Summers has a whole crapload of torps, and they are aimed at us. Unfortunately, we're still spotted by that Shimakaze. He's around there somewhere, still lurking around. So we got to reposition ourselves a little bit. We're just able to sneak shots over this island at that Alaska, so we might as well do that while we can. Just by looking at the mini-map there, you can see that the rest of the red ships are over by the Charlie Cap, and they've now capped it. But we do have some blue ships over there making it hard for them, so they don't really need our help. Our job right now is to track down this Shimakaze and try and get rid of him. You let these damn Shimakazes run around unchecked, and they can wreak havoc on your battleships. So there he is again. He's popped up on the screen. He started to shoot his guns at our Cabrosk. That's just fine by me. We really laid into him with a good salvo there. He's trying to stop and pop his smoke. And unfortunately, we oversteer like crazy. Not sure what happened there. Maybe we weren't used to the rudder on the Baltimore. And we accidentally ate a torp. That's okay. It was just fun. Everyone's allowed to have a potato moment every now and then, right? We'll make up for it. And we'll do that by popping our radar. Boy, that Shimakaze is in all kinds of trouble now. Don't you just love this? A Shimakaze that's just sitting still for you while you're in a cruiser. Oh boy, that was fantastic. Unfortunately, the Cabrosk was the one that got the killing blow on him, but that's alright. There's more than enough to go around in this match. Now that Shimakaze's been eliminated, and Bismarck, he's not doing too well over there, so we could probably just focus out on this Alaska. We only have one sinking right now. We're not thinking about a Kraken at all. We're just trying to defend this cap here. Down goes that Bismarck to our Brandenburg. It's a fun ship, that Brandenburg, by the way. Need to play it more often. I've only played it like 4 or 5 times. It's a problem with all these tier 7 campaign ships. You get so many that you don't have time to play them all. Anyways, So we're doing pretty well here, overall with our team. We have 2 caps, they only have 1, and they've lost 4 ships compared to only our 3. We don't want to get too aggressive here now. I really did want to eliminate this Alaska. He was annoying me. I was trying my best to use AP whenever I could, but he was bow tanking and reversing like crazy. And I was thinking, okay, if he's reversing and I'm going forward, I can close the gap on him. But eventually I looked on the mini-map over to my left and saw that there were some more red ships coming over to help this Alaska. And if I hadn't hit the brakes, I would have been caught in a pretty nasty crossfire. So what ends up happening is I do hit the brakes to avoid that crossfire, and I just start slugging it out with this Alaska. It's funny, right as I start backing up, you'll see some shells come in from that other side of the map there. There's a smoke screen. You can't even see the enemy that's shooting at us. And honestly, I was impressed that I actually had the foresight to avoid that crossfire, because normally I don't. Anyways, as we slug it out back and forth with this Alaska, let's talk about our commander. Let's get our commander up on the screen now. We're using Norman Scott, and I was sure to take a screen capture of the skills right after this match to make sure that I knew exactly which skills I'd chosen. I have a lot of old captures in my hard drive and my backlog, and I have no idea which commanders or skills I use, so sometimes it's a bit of a crapshoot. I always like to include the commanders now because it adds an extra layer to the commentary and gives me something to talk about while we're doing things like slugging it out with Alaskas. So for my Scott build, we're going all out with the offensive skills. The extra range, the extra HE fire chance, the extra AP penetration and AP shell damage, and the better dispersion and shell grouping. And then for the legendary skill, we're doing fully packed, because we do like that extra radar and that extra heal. Now as for our inspirations, we usually keep them the same on all of our American cruisers. We have Membeli and Kuznetsov. Now, as you've been seeing, during our engagement with this Alaska, we're playing with our speed, playing with our rudder, trying to stay angled to him, and keeping our bow pointed directly at whatever was firing at us in that smoke screen. We know most likely that we'll be able to bow tank whatever's over there, and if we stay angled to this Alaska and play with our speed, we should be able to dodge most of his shells and mitigate any of his accurate shots. Now, speaking of rudder, I was experimenting with a Beepley agile build for a little while there actually, quite a few matches. I guess you could also call it a stealth radar build, but it just wasn't working for me. It didn't seem to suit the Baltimore like that kind of build suits a lot of the other tier 7 cruisers. So I swapped back to Scott and chose all the offensive skills, and hey, things are working out. Now, during all that chatting, that enemy Baltimore had made his way closer to us and caught our attention, and we took our eye off of that Alaska, and he was able to punish us a little bit there. We were over angled, so just like we were worried about, found ourselves in a nasty crossfire, and right now we're in survival mode because we're down to 3 ships, and they still have 4 left. What the hell has the rest of our team been doing? This was a part of the match that I was alluding to earlier, where we had to show like Buddha-like patience. There's nothing I hate more than sitting in the back, trying to snipe ships at the edge of my range. But sometimes you gotta make the smart play, think about the long game, do whatever it takes to win. Now what we wanted to do is wait for that Baltimore to get closer to that Alaska, so we could reposition ourselves. The Alaska backed all the way out of our range. And now with a little bit of math here, we only have 1 kill, and there are 4 enemy ships left. So strap yourselves in, Vaz is about to do a little bit of carrying. Or some throwing. Honestly, if this was at a lower tier, I think it would have been a little bit of potato action going on too. Seems to me like tier 5 and 6 are where the most skilled players play. And there's that Alaska. Boy, is he on low health. It will go a long way to cementing our victory if we can get rid of him. Place a couple shots, because he's playing with his speed. We have no idea what the hell he's up to. Shoot some shots at him, in front of him, behind him. And we're just able to sneak our back turret over that mountain there. Will those be the shells that finish him off? And yes, they are. What a shot. Just barely cleared that island. Now that gives us our second sinking of the match. That leaves us with 3 to go. I was pretty lucky actually getting that final shot in on that Alaska. I was actually kind of through dealing with him. Wanted to get over there because our last battleship was in a pretty tough spot, and I knew there was another Shimakaze in that area, and if I didn't get over there to help, then we'd lose that battleship and be in some real trouble. There's that damn Baltimore playing peekaboo with me here. Looked like he was running probably a concealment or a stealth build of some kind, because he was pretty hard to spot. Now here we go. We're coming up to Bravo Cap. I knew that there was a battleship in this cap, looking at the mini-map, and that the destroyer was probably taking cover near him since I had just seen the torps, and I said to myself, screw it, let's have some fun. It was killing me to be so conservative before, so I'm gonna get this destroyer. And then once I saw that Kansas was so close and there was no chance of turning back without going flat broadside, I shouted YOLO and just went for it. Let's kill that Shima and then try and ram this Kansas. And you'll notice through that whole sequence, we didn't take our foot off the gas, except just to dodge the Shimakaze torps. Because the intention this entire time was just to go straight at the Kansas. No, Shimakaze, I don't know what he was doing pirouettes for. He should have kept on going. But thank you to him for turning back around. And we're able to slap him and finish him off, getting us our 3rd kill of the match. Hey, there's the Baltimore, and that's what I'm talking about, where I don't quite have as much fear at the higher tiers right now. Until these ships can prove something to me, because in the earlier engagements, that Baltimore just showed me absolutely nothing. So I just kept myself pointed towards the Kansas, fired the HE that I had loaded at him, and thank you to him for coming back into the fray, because that gets us our 4th kill of the match. And all that's left to do is use our single torpedo. Oh, and what a mighty torpedo that was. That gets us the Confederate, the High Caliber, and Kraken Unleashed medals. Took care of those last 3 guys right quick, didn't we? Probably got away with one there, like I was alluding to. If that had been a tier 5, maybe a tier 6 match, we probably would have been deleted by that last cruiser had we been broadside to him like that. But honestly, at tier 7 and legendary, I find there's a lot of apprehensive players, and players that are perhaps not ready to play at those tiers yet. So sometimes you can just ignore them and go about your business of getting Krakens and all that good stuff. And just taking a look at our results screen, there's our 5 sinkings, and we have a damage total of over 106,000. It's some pretty wicked stats across the board there. Must have had some boosters on. But if you stuck around to this part, first off, I thank you for that. But take a look at this. Over 4,000 base XP. Holy shitballs. That's pretty high. It's probably one of my highest ever in any ship. Well, hope you did enjoy that video. If you did, please hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of my videos. Feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, take care of yourself and do what makes you happy.